We're live, and so I apologize for the lateness here. I don't even know if anyone's here. Oh, yeah. Holy crap. Okay. Sorry about that. There's Zoe. Cascade Marketing. Nice. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I do my best. Someday I will have someone here helping. Like here, right here, helping. Okay. Sound looks like it's coming through for me. No, it's not. Ecamm wasn't the problem today. Although it does look a little choppy when I move. I don't know. I don't know if that's just me or what, but yeah, I'm here. I have to download the shout outs. I didn't get a chance to get them quick, but let me do them real quick. I don't know if my pedal. No, I gotta go. I moved my desk back. This is from last week. I gotta add. I don't know where it is. Crap, I guess I didn't download it. I thought I did. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to figure out how to get these shout outs together. I'll look at these comments in a second. I didn't want to delay things even more, so I just figured I'd do it on the screen. But now I can't seem to find them right here. 1 through 8. Swear to God, I downloaded this. I hope everyone is having a good New Year's. I'm sick. If you can hear me, our whole house was rocked with flu. I'm getting over it, but it's been really bad. It put our whole house out for like a whole week. It's been horrible. So I probably sound like crap. All right, now it's downloading, and I'll do these shout outs. I wasn't sure if I was even going to be able to do a live. Freaking Ecamm. I know. Ecamm. Who else is here? Jules. Jules Marie is me. My supervisor for the first half of my practicum. What the heck is that? Is that college? I used to say 5 minutes early is 10 minutes late. It's so hard to be on. It really is. And it's just me. I know I crab about that a lot, but I don't. It's literally just me running these. I mean, Zoe helps a ton with like the shout outs and stuff, but as far as the equipment and stuff, it's like, it's just me. So like plugging everything in and I'm always trying to. Everyone else here, you guys know me from here, from YouTube, you seeing me on lives, but everyone who works for us, this is nothing to like. It's like I think they think it's just something I do in my fun for there. You know, everyone else is concerned with production, uh, all the admin tasks, all that stuff. So I'm just dealing with that stuff all day, and this stuff kind of goes way out into the back burner, which it shouldn't be. I should be putting most of my focus on this. Everyone's sick. New York has like the highest amount of flu it's ever been recorded. Glenn says, I think that's Glennis says, how can this be live? I don't know. I think you push pause and maybe then you can start it later. I'm not really sure, but I'm responding to you live. So remember that thing? I almost got into it a few years ago. There was like the trend of evergreen webinars where they were like pitched as these live webinars, and it would have fake comments and fake viewers and stuff that you could send people to. Like they download a report and then they sign up for a webinar that you're doing, but the webinar just continuously replays. It's not actually live. I felt kind of weird about that. Arnell, just finishing up your big mailing. Good job. You got a whole bunch of stuff going on. Grad school. See, I didn't go to all that, so I don't really know. Mental health. Glorified unpaid internship. They're so rough with those interns. I got a friend that's interning as a teacher, and she was like, they pay me like nothing. Like it's so bad. Who we got for shout outs today? Only a few, because not many people replied. I think because of the New Year's, maybe. So they'll probably show up on next week's. Jose Morales, I don't know if he's in here, but and I think he's got a YouTube channel. Make sure you drop that. If you're in here, Jose, put your YouTube channel link in there. So if anyone wants to follow you, I think you chronicle the whole journey. You're on your, is this your fourth card? Third card. I feel like it's your fourth. Ecamm has so many windows open. I have to close all these windows just so I can see the screen. It's really annoying. But great job, Jose. Danielle Burton with her 8th card. We think it's her 8th in Fort Worth. Nice job. Beautiful looking card. 8th card. Dan Brooks on his 42nd card. Can't wait to have him on the interview. Another nice job. They have a great looking card. I love it. And they put their landscaping business on there, so they get a lot of free advertising. Rachel and Dalton, one of our favorites, if not the most favorite. Another community carder, which is, they have a great guide. If you don't have it, it's a community card playbook. It's really fantastic. They're in Montana. They're on their I think it's their 14th community card. And they're expanding to other cities too. Ones that they can't even visit. Outstanding. Paul Courtwright in Syracuse. Nice job on your 9th card. Incredible. My neighbor. Someday we'll meet up, right? Doing great. That's all the shout outs I have. No one else got back to us. That's all the shout outs. I don't even have a topic for today, so please just ask questions. Hi, Glenn. Jose did a great job. He's doing great. Local loop spotlight. Just getting over the flu here also. Oh, you don't plan for those things. You know, you have production and productivity and everything, all the task lists and stuff, and then you get socked with flu. It messes everything up. Yeah, that's right. They were wearing the small business hoodies, Zoe says. Yes, they each got one. They each got them. They are. Oh, Heather's here live. Heather. Someone just sent us an email, said they were so inspired by you too. I hope someone responded to them here. I had it flagged. I don't know if she's been replied to yet, but she was like, I watched the video with Heather. I want to know more about this. I think I did. I replied and I gave them Rachel's information too. But they were so inspired by your podcast. Yeah, not many people. I think we had, Zoe will tell you, I think we have like 8 or 9 that from last week that we just no one got back to us for. Partly our fault because we ask them like a couple hours before the show goes live sometimes, so they may not see it yet. Eric Williamson, thank you. He says, great 2025. How did everyone do? I had an excellent year. My revenues were tremendous, and I hope to do a huge amount of growth next year. I have a lot planned. I fell short on YouTube subscribers. I was dead set on having 100,000 YouTube subscribers. Didn't come anywhere close to that. I think if I had kept my momentum up and paid it more attention, I would have, but I kind of fell short on that. But revenue was a fantastic year. We added more employees, did lots more business, and there's high percentage of people, which I really like seeing, that took on 9x12 or community cards. I'll group them together and still are doing it. So there's a really high percentage of people who have been doing it through the beginning of the year that are still doing it today, and that's really nice to hear. Tetic says, hey, Jake, what's the difference between a community card and a 9x12? I would love to answer that. This is a 9x12 postcard, so it's 9 inches by 12 inches, and you fill it with ad spots. And this is a community card, which is it could be 6x11 or 6.5 by 12. So it's roughly same width, but not as high. Still a really big postcard. This one will make you somewhere between like $2,500 to $5,000 in profit, and this one will make you $1,000 to $2,000 in profit. So this one makes more money. This one is easier to fill. You kind of have to just figure out what you want to go with. If you're not sure, community card is a really great way to just start off, because you only have to charge $150 to $200 per space, as opposed to $350 to $600 per space here. If you want to make a lot of profit, this is the way to go. If you want to just get things out and get lots of paying customers and get your feet wet, or put out multiples of these cards, and you don't want to fight over price, community card is a really great way to do that. I also really like on community cards that you typically don't custom design each ad. You just use a template format like this and you just pop the information in. It's a very quick, super quick process. This is what one looks like all filled out. Really easy to get those things out. 9x12s just take a little more effort, but they're a lot more profit per piece. They both have their own advantages. You just got to figure out what's best for you. Arnell says, I just did a 2,500 piece mailer last month for a roofer, and I'm going to call them on Monday to get their feedback. I'm anxious because I'm not sure if they got great results. I don't know. I mean, call them and see, but you can't. I don't remember what the ad looks like or whatever. But 2,500 is a really small quantity. It's a crapshoot. Anything under 5,000 EDDM is a roll the dice. It's just roll the dice. You really can't expect anything, and then you don't know. There's so many factors with results and stuff. It's really bad to pitch a campaign. I don't know if you did this or not or whatever, it doesn't matter, but to do a mailer, like a 2,500 piece mailer, and say, I don't know, we'll see what the results are. It's better to do a campaign where you do 3 mailings, at least, and then look at the results, because you don't know. You just do one mailing, you have no clue. And you also there's a lot of things that are out of your control. Maybe their company sucks. Maybe they have a horrible reputation. I have that happen all the time. People do a mailer and then whatever happens. Sometimes they do fine, but sometimes they don't do it. And I look at the reviews and they're horrible. The reviews are absolutely terrible. I just had one of that recently. I look at the reviews, I'm like, oh my God. That's a local customer, actually. I can kind of slam it because it's not someone watching. That's a local customer. And I hit him up to see if he wanted to do another mailer, which he did. But then he's like, I got to pull together some funds and stuff. Like, oh, okay, that's not good. And I look up his business. I never did this. And it's it's horrific. You wouldn't want to visit this thing. And he still got great response on the one we did. But you don't know. These things are out of your control. 2,500 piece crapshoot. Who knows? How should I position the conversation? Well, I would just check. You shouldn't really make that a focus. Wish them a happy new year. That's it. Wish them a happy new year. Say something like, we should do another mailer in the spring. That's it. Let them say whatever. Because then if you approach them, oh, how did you do and stuff, on a 2,500 piece mailer, which is so small, you're now like looked at as the person, like it's all about results, and that if anything went wrong, it was your fault and stuff. I don't even make that a big deal at all. Technically, Arnell, and I don't need to put this down, but technically you should have brought this up in the beginning. Like, you should have figured out how many responses they maybe would be expecting. It's probably something you should have figured out way in the beginning. I don't know what the initial conversation was, but I'm just glad that you're getting mailings out. Sometimes Tatic says she's going to binge the channel. Do it. It's a lot of fun. Sometimes, too, I get businesses that do they'll do a 1,000 piece mailer, and they're a horrible business, and the mailer sucks. And I'm like, this thing. And then they get a bunch of response. You never know. Local Loop says, I got my first 9x12 out around July, broke even with small profit. Now working with New Year's card with community card, trying to sell out space. Oh, that'll be easy for you. That'll be super easy. Glenn says, in your experience, if an advertiser is working with a marketing agency, will they get on a 9x12? I've sold many spaces with marketing agencies. I was a little hesitant at first because I didn't want the marketing agency stealing the concept. So I didn't approach. Well, you're saying an business that works with a marketing agency, and that can be the case too. First thing I was saying was actual marketing agencies, but then I ended up actually selling many spaces for quite some time through a couple local marketing agencies that just had a ton of clients, and it was great. Like, I never felt threatened, and I had enough cards out where they would have a really hard time even trying. So that was a great source of getting ads, was working with marketing companies, because they work with a bunch of local businesses. And typically a marketing agency isn't working with very small ones. Sometimes they are, but they're usually companies with pretty heavy budgets. The downside to that is sometimes they move really slow, because a marketing agency might have a certain budget and they work within that budget. So you'd have to get extra money from them, which can be a challenge. most likely you'll run into where they just build it into the next quarter or next year's budget, and it just takes time to get that money. But yes, I definitely, it just adds extra hurdles. Sometimes business owners are like, all my marketing is done through this company, and they have actual contracts or agreements in place where they can't do other marketing because it has to go through the marketing agency. Every business is different. Talk to them about it. You might get a great oh, that was the targeted one, Arnell. That was the targeted one. Sorry, not the EDDM. Yeah, hit them up. I mean, 2,500 targeted is a good enough volume to hopefully pull some leads. 2,500 targeted is like 10,000 or more EDDM. Eric says we don't sell conversions as results. We pitch exposure only. Sometimes when you're, Arnell says these are pretty good 4-star. I have to look the artwork again. That's enough to usually get response in. It's also really early in the year, so roofing, unless it's roofing repairs and stuff, sometimes people might keep these things around. And I would pitch that. I would say if they're unsure about the results or something, or they're not the most thrilled, you should mention, well, it's so early in the year, a lot of people are just hanging on to this, and then later on they hopefully keep it around, and then when they actually want to replace the roofs, they think of you. That's why it's good also to continuously mail. This is a great time to start mailing for real estate and home services, because you only have a couple months before the spring, and you really want to get in front of people's at their top of mind, especially like real home services and realtors. Too many of them, they mail during the spring rush, during the thick of it. And at that point, most people have already picked someone. They've already scheduled estimates. They've already done research on people. They've already hunted around and found people. If you can get ahead of them and start mailing now over these next 2 or 3 months, once the spring rush hits, you're going to see a lot more response because you've already warmed them up. I wish marketers would do that more. The Candace is here. Journey to Wellness is here. Arnell says, okay, I'm just catching up with these comments. You probably sent them a few minutes ago, so it's probably delayed a bit. Said if they could just get 3 or 4 calls, they'd be happy campers. The ROI on a postcard mailer should be 5 to 10x. Almost any business can get a 5 to 10x ROI. With a roofer, the average, we're talking roof replacement, the average ticket is probably in the range of, I don't know, $10,000, somewhere around there. A roofing job has got to be averaging somewhere geographic dependent, who their target audience dependent. It could be much higher than that. It could be $20,000, the average ticket price. So if you work backwards, like you said, calls, 3 or 4 calls, how many to get, let's say it's a $12,000 average ticket. Let's say that. How many estimates do you need to give to get a sale? It's probably like 1 out of every 5, 4, something like that. So an estimate, and then you break down how many estimates do you have to, how many appointments do you have to get to schedule estimates? Usually it's like maybe half. So out of every 2 appointments set, 1 actually gets estimated. Every company's going to have these different numbers. You should go through them with them. And then how many calls to appointments. So there might be 1 out of every 4 or 5. So you may need 10 calls to get 5 appointments to get 3 estimates, and then you get 1 roof, something like that out of this, something like that math. And you just keep going down until you get to responses. And with calls, you can even have things like QR code scan stuff. What is actually a response? And you'll find that any response or call is worth hundreds of dollars, because it's most likely, just to get an appointment probably costs a few $100, $200 to $300 to generate. So if your mailer, let's say, costs $2,000, your if you can get a few calls, that's probably a pretty good ROI because you can hopefully land one roof. But I don't know. It's tricky with $2,000 budget, and to land the roof can be tough. But if they're getting replies, the math should work out to equal 5 to 10x ROI. Hope that makes sense. And in this case, we're talking about results because Arnell has sold them a targeted mailing. It is not about exposure in this case. It is about results, response. It's a results type campaign. A roofer on a 9x12 is going to be, you're talking exposure and branding and locking up the space when other roofer isn't on there. But on a solo mailer, a roofer is not doing a solo mailer and spending thousands of dollars just for exposure. They're doing it to get results. So it's a different thing. I think what kind of any kind of response on a 2,500 dot for roofers will be good. So hopefully they get some calls from that. Use Your Manners says, I'm so nervous to start. My husband says no, but I am going to try. Yeah, do it. Do a community card. Just worried since I'm not an official business. You don't have to be. I mean, you are an official business. If you're in business, you're in business. It's really, you could go down and register a sole proprietor, register a DBA. You're a sole proprietorship. It's the same. So registering a DBA would allow you to make a name, a fictitious name, but you're in business. And it's a great way to just start. Do a community card and just say, I'm just looking to promote local businesses. I have an idea of getting a bunch of local businesses together on a big postcard, and there's going to be no chains on it, and there's just going to be one per industry. If you'd like to be the gym on it, if you'd like to be the health food store, if you'd like to be the pool company, the lawn care on there, it's $150 or $200. That's it. You are just a person trying to promote local business. That's all you have to do. Easy. Sell a bunch of spaces, make $1,000 to $2,000 profit. You're good. Keep in mind, an official business, you couldn't go out and make a few $1,000s in profit in 2 weeks. Couldn't do that because an official business, like a legitimate business, it costs tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars. I don't think a lot of people realize that. A small local business, even a small, tiny local business, you're mortgaging your house, you're taking out a big SBA loan, you're borrowing, or you inherited, or you're spending, or your savings, you're borrowing against your 401k, you're maxing out every credit card. You are in tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. You need staff, equipment, furniture, display stuff, office space, leasing, equipment, contractually obligated equipment that might go on for years. You need a vehicle. There is so much expense to running even the simplest regular local businesses. You can't make a profit. Any money you make has to go directly back into inventory and paying bills and payroll, accounting and taxes. Here, you are running a business with none of that. You have no overhead. You are literally making a profit right away. I don't think people realize how expensive it is to be in business, and this offers you a way to be in business and take money out like within weeks. Most small businesses can't take money out for years. Any money that they take is really just borrowing. They owe so much in debt, and then the business 80% of the time, the business is going to fail. Most small businesses will fail, and they will end up with a huge amount of debt, massive amount of debt, going back to a job, trying to offload equipment and chase vendors chasing them and stuff and saying, screw this was a big mistake, I am out of here. 80% of businesses, that's what's going to happen. Not yours. Journey to Wellness is in urgent care PA. My cousin's a PA, and my good friend and old assistant just graduated as a PA. And flu has been, it's out of control. Everyone I know has it. Local Loop Spotlight says, how long is a good estimated expiration date for most businesses? I've been telling business owners that are interested in maybe 5 to 6 weeks. That's perfect. Anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks. 30 to 45 days is great, which is where you're at. You could go 60 days, but then you're not looking at them re-upping if you do another mailer. So 4 to 6 weeks, 30 to 45 days is perfect. You don't want to make it too long, because then people won't respond as well. Make sure they understand the lifetime value from new customers. Many businesses don't understand that. They don't understand lifetime value. They've never really thought of that. I have a lot of different ways to explain that to people. I don't like to use too much mathematical terms, but I just like to say, if someone visits your business, do they tend to come back? If you mow someone's lawn, do they tend to have you do it for the season? Okay, great. How many times? This could be a restaurant. If they come here once, do they tend to come back? And the people are going to be like, of course, yeah, yeah. How many times? Like, how many times do they come back? And you use their answers to figure out roughly what their lifetime value is. Lifetime value gets sketchy over the lifetime because no one wants to think, okay, this person's going to be here for 10 years or something. Only businesses that are really established will think about that. So you can use annual lifetime value, ACV, whatever you want to call it. That's a kind of a better one to use, is how much in a year. Because most businesses can see spending on marketing to generate new customers, and they know that one new customer will give them X amount per year. That could be like a lawn care over a year contract by the year, instead of thinking about multiple years. So when you're doing the math, sometimes just break it down by year. And then if the people stay later than that, it's even a bonus ROI. And close rates from appointments. Yeah, most businesses, especially home services, if they don't have a specific sales setup, most don't. Usually it's just like the owner doing the estimating and stuff. They never really think of that too much. So you got to kind of put that in writing and hash that out. How many, you know what the problem is with most home services? Most home services just don't answer their phone. Arnell, I hope you're still watching, because there's nothing you can do about this. Most don't even answer their phone. So people will reply to their marketing and they don't even answer. If you go call roofers. You ever have to get your roof done? Go call roof. You call 10 roofers, you may get a hold of a few, and then maybe one or two of that. You might get 2 people that show up out of 10. This is all across the board, all across the US. This is everyone's experience. If you call a whole bunch of home service people, only a few are going to actually answer, and only a few out of them are actually going to show up. A lot of times people get a job simply because they answered the phone and they showed up. If you can just answer your phone right away, you will sell so much. This is true with realtors too. A lot of realtors, because they're part-timers or they're bogged down, they don't answer their phone, and they don't get listings, they don't get activity because they're lazy, and they don't answer right away. And someone else gets to them that will. For home services, you can't control this. This is something you do with business consulting and stuff. And they'll be up on the roof, and they don't answer their phone all day because they're up on the roof. And then someone calls and they're, this tire kicker, I'm not doing this. And they don't follow up, or someone says, I'm thinking about it, something, and then it just goes to somewhere else. Happens all the time. Saquon with the super chat. Wow, I haven't had one of them in a while. Thank you. Thank you, buddy. It's great to see you. I'm really struggling to get these community card spaces sold. Why are you having trouble selling $150 community card spaces? It's got to be something in your pitch. It has to be. Or you're not talking to the right people. I mean, but it's just go around. You can sell 5 of these things today. If me and you went out and walked around, we can sell 5 spaces today on a regular, like 4 or 5 hours driving around town. I mean, that's just walking in. You should have home services all over the place going for that. You should have a realtor. You should have any retail shops. $150 per space. It's something wrong with your pitch. It's you picking some weird businesses or something. Something is wrong. That is the easiest sell. It really is the easiest sell. Something you're doing wrong. If you want to mention a little more context, I'd be happy to sort that out. How have you been doing outreach? Oh, I think he's talking to Saquon. Journey's working on their first card starting November. Yeah, holidays is tough, but right now it's changing. So it's a great time right now. 30 businesses a day through email and Instagram messaging. I wonder if you're just not getting, if you're getting spam, you're going to the spam folder and you're going to their other folder and stuff. That makes me think that. Go talk to some business owners, call them and stop in, and you will sell left and right. Oh, a roofer she just got. Cascade says, my family had a small veterinary clinic outlay. That is insane. Just even a retail shop. Just take a regular, like you open a retail store, like a, what's it called? Like a novelty store or something, you know, like a retail shop, little retail shop. Trinkets. You've got to buy inventory. There's thousands of dollars in inventory. You're likely buying on credit. You've got to lease office space. You've got to have insurance. So you're on a 3-year, 5-year, 7-year lease. Very easy to get over your head too. If you want anything retail that's in a good location, the price is going to be high. You can be thousands of dollars a month just in lease. You've got to have a POS system. You've got to have shelving and displays, and you've got to keep the inventory moving. You have a constant churn of crap that didn't sell that you now have to get rid of because you can't sell the same stuff all the time, and you have a new season, so you have this huge back room of stuff, and that's messing with your books because you can't deduct inventory. Inventory isn't oh, I spent $1,000, I get to write off $1,000. It's an asset that you have. So on your books and stuff, it looks like you storing all this inventory and stuff. It's actually, you can't even deduct it. You've got staff, payroll, shelving, insurances, signage, all this stuff. Tens of thousands of dollars in debt, even just for a simple little store. You can't even begin to take money out of that. If you take any kind of money out of it, you are just essentially just borrowing them, taking out more debt. You're never going to have a clean, the chances of you even having a successful business is next to zero. You might be making sales. You might have a great holiday season and you made all this money, but then you realize, oh wait, I didn't actually make this money because I'm now going to have a terrible 2 months. And I just went and took $4,000 out of my profits to go on vacation, and now I still have this lease, and I still have all this stuff in the inventory. Now I got to buy more inventory, and I've got my back room is growing so much full of crap. And then what happens? The sales, you got no marketing, so you don't have consistent people coming in, and then you start leaving inventory up longer, and now people come in again and they see the same stuff. And you're buying less inventory, and it just fizzles out. And after a few years, you're like, yeah, I'm going back to nursing or something. So having a postcard business, you don't have to worry about any of that. You don't have any inventory. You don't have any overheads. You don't have these tens of thousands of dollars in debt. You're not racking up your credit cards and maxing them things out, and all the stress and anxiety. 5 to 6 figures in debt easy for vet clinic. Sure, totally. Oh my God. For many businesses, hundreds of thousands. You look at the balance sheets, hundreds of thousands, a million in debt. I mean, you have a bigger place like a clinic or office, you're talking $20,000 a month in just rent, just leasing. You have insurances that are unfathomable. You have staff. Let's say you have 25 people, 15 people on staff. You've got 20-something thousand dollars a month at least. And then you have all the things that go with having over 10 to 20 employees. You have all sorts of insurances and compliance. You have an HR person. You have so many unemployment insurance. And you have people that are out on FMLA that you've got to pay. And you've got a workers' comp lawsuit on someone that tripped and fell. You have so much compliance stuff that comes with that. And you have to have a manager to manage all these people, and they got to make more. The debt load is crazy. You can't even comprehend it because unless you're an accountant, you don't even understand if you're making money or not because the numbers can be so screwy. Arnell says roofer plans to expand to several counties in Connecticut should be focused on hitting the same household several times. Right now, yes. You should. So they should be doing, you should really hash out how many responses you need to generate. That's really should be something you should work out. How many responses? You should be doing the math. Okay, we need to generate this many people. What's it going to take? How much is the average ticket price? Maybe their average ticket price is really high, and they can drive up the cost of getting people. And maybe they can do some better incentives. I don't know what the incentives that is. You can try different offers, have multiple offers. You can do things like a giveaway. That can be an insanely good way to generate leads. A giveaway is an incredible way of win a free roof, right? Give away a free roof at the end of the year, and you just have people hitting a QR code, calling in, texting, and submitting their information. And when they go in and they have a form, they can click when do they plan to do their roof, or what kind of condition is their roof in right now. And now you can see, okay, this person has a really bad roof, and you can contact those people and set up leads. Now, many roofers don't have the kind of sales staff to handle something like that. If you're like your everyday average roofer, you couldn't handle that kind of influx. You wouldn't be able to sit there and call these people and set them up for appointments and stuff. But that's how you generate tons of leads. That's for like a business that really has that kind of operation down. But even like if someone's watching this that works with small, not handyman, but like small remodelers, or maybe you're like a garage door guy or gutters or something, you can afford to like give a free house full of gutters away or a free entry door. Like if you think of that as a marketing space, if you can get X amount of jobs from that, it can be like, this would be a great way to generate leads. And you just simply throw that into your marketing. You get tons of people responding, and you vet the people and you call them up and confirm their information, or you get online, you email them, and you set up appointments. And if you sell even a few jobs just from that, it's well worth it. But you should be thinking of their target audience, and you should be doing things in campaigns to where, and I'm talking about you and your client, where you're doing 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 mailings, and it should be going to the same people for sure. Your mailings will get more and more powerful the more times the same people see it. You have to. You really don't write off an audience or an area or a campaign until you've mailed to it multiple times and you're sure that this thing is not responding. Saquon says no, and I'll push harder and do 100 businesses a day. The Tri-County area has a population of 800,000 of businesses. Just go out. Literally just go out. You should be selling this thing with no problem. Or hit up Rachel and Dalton. Go, I know you're not hurting for money because you've been paying for that ChatGPT Plus subscription, or the Pro one, the Pro subscription. Hit up Rachel and Dalton. Get their community card playbook, or pay them for some coaching. Just pay them whatever it is. It's reasonable for coaching. I can give you their information if you don't have it. And they sell these things like crazy, and they sell them to different states, and they have the time to give you an exact plan. I wholeheartedly suggest that. Cascade says, yeah, 70, 80% don't answer their phone. Totally. I was a realtor. They are the worst. Oh, realtors they are the worst. They won't answer. They see everything as the bad ones. 90%, probably 95% of all realtors, part-time, have no clue what they're doing, will not contact, will not call people, will not respond, they see people as a burden. They see showings as a burden. Horrible. Do we need to have a DBA before starting? Tatik says you do not, but I think it's a good to have one. I think it's probably research what it is in your area, because it varies, but in most cases it's probably going to be like under $50. It might be like $30 to $50, and you fill a thing out at your local government. You might even be able to do it online. I think they'll notarize it right there, and you are now have a DBA. The good thing about a DBA is you can do business under a fictitious name. So you can pick some kind of name, which is great. But then you could take that DBA and you can go on the IRS's website and get an EIN for it. And that's it's like a social security number for your business, so that you're not having to use your social security number for everything. You can use the business's number. It's called an EIN. That's free. You can do it right away online. So you get your DBA, then you go get your EIN. And with that EIN, you can now open up a free checking account. So you can go to a bank, not a credit union, go to a bank. Credit union is great for personal, but go to banks for business and get a free, totally free. You don't need any maintenance plan type account. You want to keep this cheap, and get a business checking with a debit card. Now you have a debit card with your business name on it. You can take checks under your business name. You could keep a record, a separate record, business record under that business name, all for maybe $50. It's worth it. I think that's an expense that's worth doing. You can name the DBA kind of a broad term too. If you think you might be selling like print, which you should, you probably haven't really been watching my channel, so this is new. But like things like I had this yard sign right here. You can start selling things like print, yard signs, signage. You could sell these things. Think seniors. I don't know if you have any kids. You got tons of stuff as school banners, your senior grad signs, banners, um, events, business cards, brochures, flyers. There are so many things in the print realm that you can sell to businesses. So maybe make that DBA name a little more broad than just like a postcard, Chattanooga postcard community or something. Just name it something broad that can encompass printing if you choose to sell printing. It's called brokering print. It's great. You don't have to do anything. You just sell the print and that's it. And it looks like it comes from you. Journey to Wellness says, any recommendations on a DBA versus LLC? Sure. I'm not a tax professional. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a tax pro. So these are things that you would want to consult with an attorney or a tax professional. I can only give you some insight to do your own due diligence. A DBA, a sole proprietorship, is the most common business form. It's like 80% of all businesses or something are just sole proprietorships. An LLC gives you protection. That's the main benefit of an LLC. It gives you protection against liability. So if you screwed something up or something just happened and a customer sued you or a vendor sued you, you wouldn't personally be liable. So they couldn't go take your house or put a lien on your car. Because if you're a sole proprietorship, if something goes wrong, they're going to sue you. You are the business. So all of your personal assets are at stake. What could go wrong? There's not a lot of risk in this business, but there is some. What if you put the wrong expiration date, or you mistakenly put something on? Say someone buys an ad from you, and you make the ad, you send it to them, and say, "Is this good to print?" And they call you or you call them and they say, "Yeah, this is great. Go for it." Okay. And now you print it. But then you had a typo in there and you mess something up. And now all of a sudden they could be a total jerk and say, "I lost a ton of business." And it could be beyond the few $100s that they spent. They could say, you put 75% off instead of 2. I've read that as a 2. You put 75% off. And now people are coming in with this coupon for a $200 item and it's 75% off and I have to honor it. I'm losing business. I've got a lawsuit against me now from customers because of your stupid ad. I've never seen that happen, but there's a potential for something like that happen. And there's an issue there too. I talk about sometimes. Don't get these approvals over the phone, but this is a real thing that could happen. A business owner could say, "Oh yeah, good to go. Yep, let's do it. You're the best." Get this over text, get the thing sent over. That way the onus is on them. At least if you had to defend yourself in court, you could say, "Look, they approved it. I sent it, but it's their job to approve it. They said good to go ahead." If you didn't have that over text or email, you wouldn't be able to it wouldn't hold up in court as well. Regardless, though, if they're taking you to court, you could possibly win. And now what happens? They could go after all your personal assets. So an LLC, I think most accountants would say, if you're making money, it's time to form an LLC. And those are accountants and lawyers where they're going to tell you to always do the right thing. Sometimes when you're just starting out, you can't buy every insurance under the sun. You can't subscribe to be compliant 100%. Sometimes you have to do crazy stuff. But most attorneys or tax people would probably say as soon as you start making any kind of money, I don't know, maybe say $1,000. If you start making $1,000 in revenue, which is going to happen over a card, you probably should be an LLC. You probably should. Do a lot of people do it? No. And LLCs can cost a lot of money in some states and not too much in others. I know here in New York State, it's maybe like $200 or something, and you can do it online. You really don't have to hire an attorney to do it. It's pretty easy to do. There's some stipulations, but an LLC is a very flexible business. What's it called? Entity structure, something. because you can have partners. You can just if you have a partner, you can add them in, and you can easily uh, determine who gets how much money through an operating agreement. It's really simple. It's basically you're running the business the same as a DBA. It's pretty close to just having that protection, that liability protection. You do have to keep your business and personal assets separated, because if you intermix everything, they can argue, well, that you really aren't running a separate business and now your personal assets are at stake. But there's some risk, and having an LLC does protect you. I guess if you were asking my advice, which you shouldn't be using, you should be using a lawyer's advice or something. I would say get a card out, get at least one card out. And if you say, this is something I wanted to keep doing, this looks like this might be a real business for me, get the LLC. I'd hate to see you go through all these steps and make an LLC and then never get it off the ground. And you're spending too much time trying to do all this paperwork and all this compliance and stuff, rather than just getting the business going and then figuring out that. And then there's things like S corp. There's an LLC can be an S corp. So there's the entity, and then there's the tax structure, which is an LLC can be an LLC can be treated tax wise as a sole proprietorship or an S corp. You can choose to be treated as for tax purposes as a sole proprietorship, which means the income just goes straight to you. Well, they both go straight to you either way, or an S corp, but it's how the profits go above wages. So in an LLC, you just pay yourself. You just take the money. Any money that's left over is yours. It's paid out, which means you're going to pay taxes whether it's in your personal account or not. At the end of the year, you're going to pay taxes on it. Flows through, and any money that you've made just is yours. However you pay it out, cash, check, Venmo, however you take it out, it's yours. You can take it out anytime. With an S corp, you have to an LLC can be an S corp, or an S corp can be separated. You have to pay yourself payroll. There's a lot of benefits to that. When you start making $30, $40, $50,000 a year, you typically go to S corp structure. You change your LLC to an S corp because you'll save a lot of money by not having to pay self-employment tax. That's something down the road. Hope that helps. Free roof or free pick. I have a whole thing on that called Street Sweepers. This is a golden. It's in my line of videos to make. I actually have a master class in progress on this very topic. This is an insane way to generate leads. Insane way. I mean, this is where you can generate so many leads you can't even you literally can't handle them, which is why your everyday remodelers and home services can't do this, because they don't have the staff to do it. They'll have so many leads that they won't know how to. They'll be spending their whole day just setting up, calling people and trying to set up the leads and the appointments. Usually these places, just the owner doing the estimate. They don't have a whole separate person. You got to get those systems in place. But this is a crazy way to get leads. Free entry door, free bay window, free storm door, free gutters, free, and you can put in the fine print, up to 200 feet of them. 3 free windows. We're going to give away 3 free windows next month. You can generate a ton of leads on that. Free pest control treatment. I mean, there's so much you can give away that will drive in leads like crazy. Oh, Sarah's here. Thank you for joining, Sarah. She's going to wonder if I saw this comment. Okay, I will definitely Saquon, and we'll definitely get that. I don't know if they're on today. I would have thought they would be. Zoe, if you're watching, I don't know if Zoe's still watching, or Andrea, or anyone's still watching, because or Saquon, just email me so I can get you Rachel's information. They're fantastic. They'd love to help you. Journey to Wellness says, I've got a coffee shop that sent me their design, but no coupon. I asked them to consider it, but haven't heard back. Need some incentive. Yeah, really, I would try calling them and just explain, yeah, let's do this, but you really should put some kind of offer or incentive on there. What could you give away maybe as a coupon? Not only just to get people to come in, but to bring a friend, refer a friend or pass it to someone who might be interested, to get this and say, hey, this is really valuable. And also to know for tracking, to make sure it works. You could say, oh, I got in all these coupons here. So I would have that conversation with them. A lot of business owners, they're busy, so you just got to harass them. Local Loop says, I was going to set up a DBA for my local loop. Then after I paid for the DBA paperwork, $50, got it notarized and found out in Chicagoland. We also need to get a 3-week publish. I didn't know for DBA. Wow. In New York, we don't have to do that. We do have to do that for LLCs, but not for DBAs. That's interesting. Every state is different. All these wacky rules. That's crazy. Just to get a DBA, that's crazy. 115. Yeah, that's see here. It's just for LLCs. I'm surprised that's for DBAs. Huh? I'm in New Jersey. Tadek says, yeah, just look it up. You can also chat GPT and say, what is the process for getting a DBA in and name your city? It's because it could be down to the county level or something too. So you want to name where you live exactly. Oh, selling print on top of digital is fantastic. And you'll sell a lot more digital. You may find out that you don't even want to sell digital after a while, but you'll sell more digital because print is so easy. You stop it in talking print, just talk to the owner and say, hey, I so and so, I own a small marketing business. I'm just getting into print, say something like that. I'm just adding print services. I'm just adding print services. Do you print any business cards or flyers or anything down the road? Just word it like that. You're just stopping in, introducing yourself. You're just starting to offer the service. Down the road, do you do anything? All these businesses do it. They all get business cards, stationery. And the more you think about that business beforehand, too, if you say, okay, this is a lawyer's office, I'm going to stop in there. I'm going to introduce myself. What would a lawyer be printing? Think of that. You're going to become a pro so quick because after a month, you're going to have done this to so many businesses. And you think, okay, lawyer, they might need letters, letterhead, right? They probably use a lot of that, envelopes, stationery, um, business cards. They might not want fancy business cards, things like that. You think of what the business might really want, and then you approach them with that and say, put up business cards or letterhead. Most of these businesses, they're buying the stuff like either through a local printer, which is a pain in the butt to deal with. They're 99% of the time horrible to deal with, and they're going to be more expensive, slow, unresponsive, or they order it online, which can be just as much a pain in the butt. You got to go through you got to go to the checkout screen and figure out what's the right thing. And we reordered this before. Do we still have the login? All the prices change. You have to find that website again because they may only order it every few months and they forget where they got it, what the login is. My throat is rough. It's much easier for them to have a local contact with great prices and they can just text or call and say, hey, we need more of these, or email this, we need more of these. It's also nice because with print, a lot of times you can just talk to the office manager. The office managers who are easy to find, right? Business owners are hard to get a hold of. They're busy. Office managers aren't hard. They're always easy to get a hold of. Now you can't sell marketing that easy to office managers. You probably know that. Can't do it. They don't care. They don't control any of it and they don't care. I always say an office manager wants less business. They don't want more business. They don't control the spend. They don't care about marketing. They want to see less work, not more. So print is something they use all the time. The business cards, I'm positive you're not going to run into many business owners who are dealing with that. They're just offloading it to their office manager. Hey, Debbie, we need 1,000 more business cards. And she handles it. And they're the easiest people to work with. They love it. They need that stuff. Go to Staples. Just go to Staples. They have a print counter there. You're going to see people all the time. I always say, where's the SEO store? Go to the SEO store and see how many people are waiting in line at any given day. Go to the SEO shop, the website development shop, and see how many people are waiting in line locally. But go to Staples, you'll see people all day buying banners and business cards and brochures, and they're asking the person on the counter, what should I put on my brochure for my business? And the kid's sitting there, I don't know, you should put this one. Arizona LLC is only $85. That's cheap. Cam Jackson's here. Nice to see you, Cam. I didn't put my people are calling and I didn't put my phone on thing, so it's like clogging up my screen because it's connected. I can't see all the comments because someone's leaving a voicemail. Arthur Porterman is leaving a voicemail right now. How to handle clients that are picky about their card design. Do you tell them there's a revision limit for it? I guess I would say, are you talking about 9x12s where you're not charging them for the design? Or are we talking like a postcard thing where you're creating a whole design? I would do a three thing revision in general, three 3 thing revision, and just be upfront and say, look, this takes a lot of time to do and I want to help you, but we've got to just be a little more clear so I'm not spending hours of time redoing it. Just be very upfront. Did I buy your own printer? I have had printing equipment since 2012, and I would not suggest getting into the printing game. You will be at the very bottom $100,000. Very bottom. One digital press, fiery software, cutter, laminator, press, leasing a press, spare parts, service plan, you are 100 grand for just getting it something. You have insurance, you have to have humidity control, plumbing, because you have to have cooling and stuff. It has to be the right temperature, right humidity. You need a press operator, you need pre-press. Easily you get into at least 500,000 in debt for a good operation. Then you're going to need large format. And if you get into offset and stuff, you're up over $1 million. Do not even think about doing that. Yes. Use me or some wholesale source. Jake, is it encouraged for your subscribers to work together and bring skills together? Yeah, we work together all the time. We have a private Facebook group that you should consider joining. It's $44 a month. And people working all the time together, all the time. Cam says he has two, or she, I'm not sure if Cam's guy or girl, I don't know, have going to back out, 2 ads sold, going back out Monday to reach out to business owners. Hope to get this thing by March. Ooh, yes. Nice. Yes. I need some hot tea. Well, it's, even when I'm not sick, talking for an hour straight is really taxing. But yeah, I couldn't even talk a few days ago. I'm actually getting better. I'm on the way up. It was really bad the past 7 days. Played the recording at 1.5 and got up, Les Mark says. Shoot your questions. I'm all caught up with comments right now, so shoot any questions. I just have to go in maybe 10, 15 minutes because I got to pick my daughter up from work. Jake, if print is sold and we have you drop ship to clients, is there any way for us to figure out how much to charge a client for shipping? I wouldn't, because you don't really want them thinking it's going very far. You want them thinking you're sending it from your house. You probably live in the same town, or having it just shipped to you and then you deliver it to them. That would be your normal thing to do. You wouldn't want to, it'll trip people up, but like, why am I paying you for shipping? Aren't you just printing it for me? Don't even think about shipping. Just the cost of the thing. That's it. Don't charge shipping. None of that. Any more questions? I had a really good time with you guys. Cam says, I'm not seeing a 9x12 option on your website. I don't. I should. It's there, technically. It is. It's buried under sell sheets. But this is actually, well, no, just email me, because I have 2 different rates. I have a discounted rate sheet, and then I have a elite member rate sheet. I'll send you both of those. I like to keep them on a sheet that's separate because it's really easy to read. It's really easy to reference, and it's always 100% updated. And I don't foresee any print increase. I very rarely increase printing. It's very rare. I go typically 2-3 years without a print increase. I think I went like 5-6 years one time. The only real time that we had major price increases was during COVID, when everything just went skyrocketed. Everything like that was rough, but it is what it is. But I don't foresee any of that. The only thing that would possibly go up is UPS sometimes raises rates. That could affect things. We'll see. We do Ryan says we do full service. We're doing, I don't know, 3 or 4 mailings right now today. So yes, we do them every single day, 5 days a week. 5 days a week we fulfill for every state you can imagine. FedEx and UPS come here every single day and haul off printing and mailers. And we're fast. We're super fast. Lucy for Liberty is here. Nice to see you. Hey, you came at the end. It's all right. Ed says if we don't charge shipping, we still must add. Yeah, you still put it into the price. I mean, you have your cost, which is if you're buying it through me, it's the price, which is going to include shipping. And then it's up to you, whatever you charge. 30 to 50% margin, not markup, but margin. I always suggest margin. That's a percentage of your profit, not the percentage of the cost. Michael Smith says, is there anywhere I can get employee agreements or guidelines for when hiring salespeople? The best is really honestly ChatGPT. It's been a blessing for that. Just feed ChatGPT of what your particular commission structure, because you're going to want, when you're doing this kind of stuff, there's going to be a lot of state regulations and rules, and you're really going to want someone or a tool with knowledge of your state's particular, because you might set up some agreement that's not actually legal. You know, in Minnesota, it might be illegal to have a commission salesperson or something. I don't know. Every state is really different and weird how they handle those things. I'm a huge fan of hiring. I always have had employees, but it comes with a lot of tax and compliance and stuff. I mean, you have to have sick time and employee agreements and personal time and what's gross misconduct, what's not, what are you allowed to do, what's not, and is this all within the range of what's legal and non-discriminatory. So you really should consult an attorney, but you could probably go into ChatGPT and just draw these agreements up and just tell it to be compliant with Arkansas state law or something like that, and it'll do a really good job. Joe Mend says, how many postcards do I need to send out before I can get on to your show? Have you sent out postcards? I don't recognize the name. We really try to flag. I try to flag any 9x12 or community card order that comes through. We're all supposed to flag, and we do a pretty good job of it. Sometimes it gets tripped up. And then Zoe goes through once a week and asks all the people, hey, is it okay if we shout you out? Do you want to send a picture? And whether or not someone agrees to that, sometimes they don't, or they don't see the email till later. So just do one. Just do one so we have proof. I don't think I'm missing any comments. I hope you guys are getting value out of this. Man, I have so many good videos to make. And I have a couple tools that are really, I can't wait to share with you guys that are actually ready, but I have to push them. I can't do the wheel spin. I don't have that thing set up. I know I was running late already, and I just don't have the time to set it. I know I wish. I have to do extra spins for you next time. Then I got to go. Oh, it has one cooking up. Okay, one more business. Oh, yes. All right. When you say I wanted to get shouted out, Zoe, get your shout out. I'd love to shout you out. All right, that's it probably. Hopefully my voice is back next week, right? I should have some videos. I have a really good one that I want to put out and a million more to do. Hopefully this year is my year of YouTube. After they freaking took my top video, they took my top 2 videos down. 400,000 views. They took it down. Harmful content. And then they took the other one with 180,000 views. Ugh. And Joel says, what about 8.5 by 11, 4 6-page flyers? Easy. 8.5 by 11 finish size. That's 11 by 17 folded down to 8.5 by 11. I'm assuming you mean 8.5 by 11, but you could do 8 by 11 too. 4, or you can't do 6-page. 6-page isn't possible because of folded. That trips people up because folded. I don't know if I have a brochure. I don't. Well, we could just say this. When you make a brochure, it's really a big piece of paper that's folded. So you fold it, and then another piece of paper folded, and that creates 4 on each side. So when you fold it, you have 4 pages. You can't actually have 6 because there wouldn't be another way to put 2 more pages, because adding 1 more sheet folded creates another 4 pages. And then there's saddle stitched or binded at the edge. So it always has to be in 4s. Every sheet creates 4 pages. So it'll be 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Ed says, your videos ending this past year have been great. Thank you. Oh, Jules is picking out paint at Sherwin-Williams. Always fun. They have a good app too. Sherwin-Williams has a really good app there. You can visual 3D the paint. All right, Joe Men says, I found an old school magnet business postcard in my neighbor's fridge. This one has been sitting on her fridge since '04. How can I send this to help advice if this would work? I couldn't, that's not something I would sell because I think it's cool, but it's not like you could do that every month. It would be like a one-time thing. You could do it. I mean, we could do that, no problem. We could print pretty big magnets, but it's be something you would do so rarely that I just, it's not my thing. It's just not something I would personally get into. Postcards, it goes in the mail. You can do another one. You can do another one. Appreciate you too, Cascade Marketing, and all you guys. All right, that's it. I'm going to go pick up my daughter from work. Any questions, shoot me over an email. I can't wait to see what this new year is bringing all of you. I know I'm excited about it. That's it. All done.